A handful of games remain in the 2018 season, and we're all wondering how in the world the summer has already left us. October is almost here, somehow. Good times. For this final regular season power ranking, we're looking at how teams stacked up in regular season competition. Once the playoff field is set, we'll rank teams by how likely they are to win the World Series. Don't be surprised if that list has a much different order than this one. But for now, we're looking at actual results, not projected finishes. Cool? Let's go. More MLB standings, magic numbers, playoff odds and more. 1. Boston Red Sox previous ranking. 1. Why they're here. The Red Sox have 7 more wins than any other team in baseball. They have the MVP favorite, Mookie Betts, and another likely top 5 finisher, J.D. Martinez. They have a Cy Young favorite, Chris Sale, and a closer, Craig Kimbrell, with 3 times as many strikeouts, 93, as hits allowed, 31, this year. They've played 19 other teams this season and they're only under .500 against 3 of them, the White Sox, A's and Astros. September has been their worst month and they're still 12-8. These guys are good, too. Houston Astros previous ranking. 2. Why they're here. There wasn't much of a year after letdown for the World Series champions. A hiccup or two, sure, but this season Alex Bregman, with his 50 doubles, 30 homers and 6.8 BWAR, developed into a legitimate star, MVP candidate, and Jarrett Cole spent the season showing why the Houston front office was determined to make a deal with Pittsburgh, striking out a career-best 12.6 batters per 9 innings. They'll be tough to beat in October. 3. Oakland Athletics previous ranking. 3. Why they're here. Lots of teams have hot streaks during a year. The starting pitchers get on a roll and the offense scores a few runs, and it's relatively easy to run off a 12-3 stretch over the period of a couple weeks. What the A's have done over the past 3.5 months can't be written off as a hot streak, or any type of fluke though. They were 2 games under .500 after a loss on June 15. Since then, they're 60-26, a record that's 2.5 games better than the team that has 105 wins on the season, Boston. They've been so damn good for so damn long that it's hard to pick out any small stretches that are especially impressive. Instead, thinking about this, for 3.5 months, the A's have played at a 113 win pace, a .698 winning percentage. Yeah? 4. New York Yankees previous ranking. 4. Why they're here. On one hand, expected lineup stalwarts Gary Sanchez, .182 average, .674 ops, and Greg Bird, .195, .669, have struggled with injuries and inconsistency. Superstar Aaron Judge spent 8 weeks on the disabled list and ace Luis Severino has a 5.74 ERA in the second half of the season. On the other hand, the Yankees have overcome those setbacks, and others, to threaten the 100-win mark for the first time since 2009. An incredible 12 players have hit at least 10 home runs on the season, including 6 with at least 23. The offensive depth is impressive. Plus, they have the unstoppable Luke Voit. More Yankees get more bad news. 5. Chicago Cubs previous ranking. 5. Why they're here. The Cubs have the NL's best record, but that might be more of an indictment on the NL than a statement of how good Joe Maddon's club is in 2018. Javi Baez has made the jump to MVP candidate, but he's one of a small number of Cubs who have been better in 2018 than they were in 2017. Inconsistencies and injuries have been common themes all summer. But here's the thing, the Cubs keep winning baseball games, more than any other team in the NL, even without everyone healthy and producing at the same time. That, in its own right, is pretty impressive. 6. Milwaukee Brewers previous ranking. 6. Why they're here. Milwaukee made 2 big outfield additions in the offseason, signing free agent Lorenzo Cain and trading for Christian Yelich. Those 2 are currently first and second, respectively, in position player BWAR at 6.8 and 6.4, respectively. The starters have been good enough and the bullpen has been very good, and though the Brewers have staggered a couple times this season, they've played their best baseball when they needed it most. In their past 23 games, Milwaukee is 16-7, best record in the NL in that stretch, 7. Los Angeles Dodgers, previous ranking, 11. Why they're here? While we're having fun with small sample sizes, if we back up to games that have happened since August 22, when the Dodgers finished 3 consecutive home losses to the Cardinals, the Dodgers have the NL's best record at 20-8. In that stretch, they went from 4.5 games out of first place in the NL West to 1.5 games ahead of the Rockies. Not that Justin Turner is solely responsible for their good play, but the Dodgers are 20 games over .500 when he plays this year, 58-38, and 2 games under, 29-31, when he doesn't. Turner's healthy now and batting .374 with a 1.117 ops since the start of August, 8. Cleveland Indians previous ranking, 7. Why they're here? Cleveland has a couple position players, Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor, who could finish top 5 in the AL MVP vote, and 4 starting pitchers who have racked up at least 200 strikeouts on the season. On paper, this is a club that has the potential to win a World Series, right? And you'll see people pick them to make that happen. But the reality is this: Cleveland hasn't been very good against the very good teams this year. They'll finish with by far the worst record of any AL playoff team despite playing in a pitiful division, mostly because they're just 23-31 against teams with a record above .500. It's hard to put this club any higher than 8th in a regular season power ranking, 9. St. Louis Cardinals previous ranking, 10. Why they're here? It's been an odd season in St. Louis, but the Cardinals enter the final stretch in prime position to lock up a playoff spot for the first time since 2015. That might not seem like a long time, but they haven't missed October 3 years in a row since 1997-99. They're 40-23 since Mike Shildt took over for Mike Matheny as manager, a move that coincided with more opportunities for younger players to make an impact on a regular basis, 10. Atlanta Braves previous ranking, 9. Why they're here? Braves fans have been optimistic about the future for a couple years now, but even for the most optimistic of fans, competing for the AL East crown in 2018 seemed like a bit of a long shot. But with Freddie Freeman doing Freddie Freeman things and youngsters like Ronald Acuna, 20 years old, and Ozzie Albies, 21, playing beyond their years, the Braves put themselves in contention and then ran away with the division with a solid September, while the Phillies faded away. Foster, the Braves showed how they would shock the baseball world early on. 11. Rays, previous ranking, 13-12. Rockies, previous ranking, 813. Mariners, previous ranking, 15-14. Diamondbacks, previous ranking, 14-15. Phillies, previous ranking, 12-16. Pirates, previous ranking, 19-17. Nationals, previous ranking, 16-18. Mets, previous ranking, 2,219. Angels, previous ranking, 17-20. Giants, previous ranking, 18-21. Blue Jays, previous ranking, 2,822. Twins, previous ranking, 2,123. Tigers, previous ranking, 2,324. Reds, previous ranking, 2,425. Rangers, previous ranking, 20 more. Who could replace Jeff Bannister as Rangers manager? 26. Marlins, previous ranking, 2,527. White Sox, previous ranking, 2,628. Padres, previous ranking, 2,729. Royals, previous ranking, 2,930. Orioles, previous ranking, 30.